Boxing Truth here. I had to talk about Roman El Chocolatito Gonzalez as he's working on his next fight date, getting close for a September 10th date on HBO, and what could be his first headlining act as the main event on HBO, and the first time in quite some time where he's not the co-feature to a Gennady Golovkin card, a true support to him. And the opponent being considered is WBC super flyweight champion Carlos Cuadras, an undefeated fighter who has made 6 title defenses of his world title. He's got 27 knockouts, considered the number one at 115 according to BoxRec. And it's a fight that's very makeable since both guys are promoted by Mr. Honda, Tekken Promotions. It's an in-house fight, so it's definitely a doable fight. And it's also a fight for Gonzalez where he can claim his 4th world title in 4 weight divisions. But when this fight was first brought out there, I was initially a little disappointed because I wanted to see Gonzalez and Juan Francisco Estrada built up their rematch for sometime this year. I was hoping that they would get that rematch in this year, or at least built it up to fight later in the year so both guys can receive career high purses to fight each other. But El Gallo hasn't been doing shit at all this year. He's been shitting on Canelo, making insults, but he hasn't been doing much fighting in the ring. He hasn't fought at all this year. He's unified the titles at 112, and everybody is just waiting and looking to see when Juan Francisco Estrada and Roman Gonzalez will fight again. But it doesn't appear to be in the cards for any time soon. Well, at least not next. As Gonzalez is looking to perhaps move up in weight. And if he can't get that fight, then maybe he'll stay at 112. But it appears that that's going to be the next fight for Gonzalez, Carlos Cuadras. It's not a bad fight. It will be a good action fight style-wise. Cuadras, he's a guy that comes to fight. He throws a lot of punches. He throws combinations, stays in the pocket. He can box a little bit. He'll circle his opponents. But he's not the most dangerous guy, in my opinion, for Gonzalez out there. I don't see much of a threat from Carlos Cuadras. It would be a good fight, don't get me wrong. It'll be a good action fight, but I don't see Cuadras being much of a threat. He doesn't do anything better than Gonzalez. He's not as fast as Gonzalez. He's not a dynamic as a puncher as Gonzalez. He's not a dynamic combination puncher. He's not as good as a combination puncher as Gonzalez. I see Gonzalez just, a level above in every department. Speed, precision punching, combinations, power, even experience. So I see in that being a fight where Gonzalez will be a solid favorite in a fight that he should win. As I don't see Cuadras being much of a threat. To me, I'd rather see the El Gallo rematch with Gonzalez. I think that's a more dangerous fight. Estrada tested Gonzalez, gave him his toughest fight. It was a close fight when they fought back in 2012. El Gallo took him 12 rounds. And it was a more competitive fight, way more competitive fight compared to Gonzalez's last fight against Arroyo, McWilliams Arroyo. That fight was a good fight, and it was a tough fight for Gonzalez, but you could see that who was the clear-cut winner. Even though Arroyo made a good account of himself, he did get technically dominated. He lost every round, but he fought very well. But against El Gallo won at least 4 or 5 rounds against Gonzalez. It was his toughest fight. And that's a fight people are more interested in him. I mean, I get the sense fans want to see the El Gallo rematch with Gonzalez compared to a Carlos Cuadras. Nobody's really clamoring for that bout. It's not a bad fight, but I'd just much rather see Gonzalez fight El Gallo again to see if Gonzalez can separate himself even more in a rematch, maybe get a stoppage. But Estrada hasn't been doing shit to build up this fight. He's been on the shelf ever since last year. He's been inactive, has yet to get a fight in this year. He's being rumored to fight sometime in September, and it will be against a 108-pound champion in Donnie Nientes. That's the rumored fight that's out there for Estrada. A guy in Nientes who's considered the #1 fighter at 108 pounds, holds the WO strap, and he would be moving up in weight to fight Estrada at 112 pounds. And that fight's being rumored to take place on September 24th, or maybe Estrada will fight on the undercard. I mean, it wouldn't hurt for Estrada to fight on Gonzalez's undercard in order to help build that fight up, and maybe they could fight sometime later in the year or next year. But it is what it is. It's not a bad fight for Gonzalez to claim a 4th world title. I think this fight is, I'm not going to call it a safe fight. It's not the most dangerous fight out there for Gonzalez, but it would be a good fight for however long it lasts. But I got Gonzalez big in this fight. I don't see enough firepower or enough speed or enough danger for Cuadras to be much of a threat to Gonzalez. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Which fight would you prefer next for Gonzalez? The Gallo rematch, the Carlos Cuadras fight? Which is the more dangerous fighter? To me, Gallo is a better fighter. He's unified the titles. He's fought more names. But if it's Cuadras next for Gonzalez, I ain't going to knock it. It'll be a good fight, good action fight. But I got Gonzalez winning his 4th world title rather easily. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.